Welcome to BitBoy Crypto.
We can't let anybody else find out who we are. My eyes are up here. I personally would not advise that strategy. Yeah. Bugs Bunny or Tweety Bird, how to make money in crypto.
Oh, you're killing me.
Welcome to BitBoy Crypto, the People's Channel, home of the BitSquad, the largest and greatest crypto community in all the interwebs. I heard from my guy trying to get the TikTok account back last night, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's not dead yet. It's not dead.
Every time I
know. Every time I
completely write it out of my memory.
Well, I have the business card of the guy who supposedly hit the switch to keep it permanent, and I'm keeping that in my back pocket for if this doesn't work. So I'm giving him all the opportunity to make it happen. But no channel works harder, as you guys know, to keep you guys in the know about crypto. We've got some, pretty devastating news today, to be honest with you, that is probably going to have people buckling in for a bumpy ride. We'll talk about that when we talk about the prospects of these CPI numbers. TJ shared a good thread to me talking about why this week is so pivotal in this Bitcoin cycle, because there's so much stuff coming out. It was the CPI data. What else was it? Do you remember the other two things? There were three main things.
The CPI was definitely big. Was the
that's the main one.
Yeah, the jobs, the inflation.
Jobs just came out last week.
Inflation is the CPI.
Yeah.
Oh, it was all the earnings. There's a lot of financial
earnings
from banks and stuff like that.
Done. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And the financial sector is rolling out this week. So far, most of the information has been obviously, this is what we think is going to happen. And now the financials are going to come out to show, like, yes, people actually spent way less this quarter.
Yeah. And that's going to be very concerning. I mean, we could, by the end of this week, basically be able to call straight up recession, and that's going to be, if that happens, now it could go the other way, but it doesn't look like it's going to go the other way. So now what does that mean? Is that baked into the market? Those are different questions. Just yesterday, I told you that I wasn't sure what these were going to be. I couldn't find any projections. We've got some projections now to go over with you guys, and it's going to be pretty concerning. So we'll be talking about that. But also, for my ETH bulls out there, I'm wearing my Ethereum shirt. You can get this at hitmerch.com. But we're redoing the color on this because it's just a little .com. But we're redoing the color on this because it's just a little light.
Going to black and silver.
But hey, it's a good shirt.
Yeah, 2.0.
Like that. Rubbing my head on the. Okay. All right. So we're also going to be talking about Three Arrows Capital. We're going to be talking about big updates for XRP from Jeremy Hogan today. We got debut a new segment called TikTalks, where we are going to check out some TikToks that have to do with crypto or the markets. We've got some very interesting ones for you today. One from a friend, and then two from some other folks. And this new segment, so we're going to do like Twitter Buzz Monday, Wednesday, Friday, TikToks Tuesday, Thursday. Looking to put some more, some more segments together. Thanks for the whole sponsorship for the charity golf tournament, Ben and TJ. Well, absolutely, Nate Parham. Certainly, we love to support the community. We do as much as we can, as you guys know. And we have the car winner picked out. We just got to organize that, correct?
Yeah, I believe that's going to be later this month.
Later this month. Okay, later this month.
I think.
Yeah. And logistically, we're finding it's harder to get these cars to people than we thought it would be.
Yeah.
Just picking winners and sort of, there's so many like great sad stories, however you want to look at it, people that need help. So if you are interested in, if you know someone that needs a lot of help, single parents are kind of what we are mainly looking at. But we certainly will have already given to another person in a situation. So you can send in an email to giving@bitboycrypto.com, and we will send you a form to fill out for that. So, okay, and guys, don't forget, number one thing you can do to help the channel, everybody knows it, right? Smash that like button right off the rip. We almost started on time today, which is almost. We're very close. So make sure, stop what you're doing. These are our dedicated BitSquad members. Y'all are in the chat. Stop what you're doing. If you're watching on mobile, exit out of live chat, hit the like button, then come back into the live chat if you're watching on smart TV. Bottom left-hand corner of your screen, more actions, more options, and then hit react, and then like this video. Or, hey, you can dislike if you want. I don't care if you dislike. It helps me the same. Once they got rid of those numbers, man, it really was something. Went to the Braves game last night. I got my ring.
Oh, nice.
You like that? Look at that championship.
Hold up. Oh,
bling,
wow.
bling.
Look at that.
Oh.
You got to sit still so it can focus.
You can see the A.
Put it in front of your face. Up. There you go.
But then I can't see my face, and that sucks. There it is. Replica championship ring. They've even got the Pearl on the side for Jock Peterson. Rip. Went to the
Rip.
Braves game last night. We lost, unfortunately. We're battling the Mets for first place in the East this week. Shout out to my guy Brandon Nimmo. He did real well last night for the Mets. He's a crypto guy. I know him, and good to see him have some success. That cool. Am I rich, guys? I got this for free for going to the Braves. Well, I'm a season ticket holder. That's expensive, but I got that for going to the Braves game. It's not actual diamonds and gold. It's a replica. It's $30. Bro.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So
pretty sure I saw it at a gas station for $50.
Super chat.
Yeah.
This is from Tyler and Sarah. $10 super chat. $1 for each alien I bought in Pluto Alliance. Thanks, Ben, for building an awesome project. Took me a while to finally get one of each planet. Well, awesome. Congratulations. You guys know we give away our YouTube ad revenue, the profits to our NFT holders, Pluto Alliance, once a month. We do it at the first business day of the month. All right, so let's go ahead and move on here. Guys, don't forget, 1.45 million subscribers. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to subscribe to all of our other channels. BitBoy Espanol. We're still trying to get this thing to 82 subs. I guess how you say that. Almost 5K on BitBoy Bits. Frankie Candles charging up 21K. Hit Network 112. Meta Money 51.6 and NFT Alpha at 19.9. So make sure you guys are checking that out. Let's go ahead and get going. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. We've got 2 Instagrams. This is my personal one where I take personal photos. There's us dressed up like Star Wars when we were at the Galaxies. I forgot what they call it. What do they call it there?
Just say Disney.
The Galactica. Whatever it's the Star Wars Hotel. That's where we were at. So it was pretty fun. It's a really incredible experience if you like Star Wars or your kids like Star Wars. And also don't forget, we also have BitBoy_crypto to follow. Make sure you're hitting up those social channels. You guys can see here. I haven't checked on this one in a while. 471K, approaching 500,000 over here. We'll look at TikTok here in just a little bit. Here's where you can get some merch. Hit merch.com. Check out the crypto markets. Look at that. Exchanges went down 2 more. Exchanges went down. Coin go up. 2209. Market cap 887 billion. We've had some dumping this morning. I had some dumping last night. Bitcoin back under 20K. 58 billion in volume. We got 42.9% Bitcoin dominance, up a shade. Ethereum dominance down significantly, almost 0.5%, 14.8%. And look, ain't nobody using Ethereum for 11.5 Paraguays. You can send an ETH transaction. Checking out the markets here. We are currently under $20,000 at $19,896. And hey, by the way, if you would let me know if Crypto Lifer jumps on.
I will.
Because he's not
Nothing.
on.
Nothing yet.
Nothing yet. Okay, 19,896. Crypto Lifer is supposed to be on the show today, but I don't know if there's, maybe an issue. Ethereum coming in at 1,078. Ethereum or Tether. Those institutions are shorting Tether. I don't know if you heard that. It's at 9993. I don't think that bodes well. I think Tether will be fine, but I will tell you, hearing a lot of big institutions are shorting Tether, that does not make me feel great when you consider the fact that, those are the same people that crashed Terra Luna. USDC coin, $1, obviously. Binance coin, 226. XRP, 31 cents, a little bit of a drop, 3% drop. Cardano, 43 cents. Let's check out the top gainers of the day. Basic attention token, Aave. Aave, man, I tell you, I feel like Aave is getting a little resurgence here. And I think it may not be the best time to consider buying it because it's just not likely to pump in a bear market. But if you're looking for coins that have signs of showing they've got some life, I think Aave is definitely one of them.
Check the week.
That was the hour. That wasn't even the friggin' daily. The daily is 8.87% for quant. We're going to be doing a deep dive on quant here soon. Synthetics up 5%, Loopring 3%, Mina, Sandbox, and that's pretty much it for the gainers. For the week, we have quant with the number 1 pump. I mean, quant is now, it's pretty solid to say. It is definitely pumping at this point. How high is it going to pump? Is it going to get above all-time highs? I certainly would think probably not if you're looking at all-time highs anytime soon. Right now, actually, if you were to draw a line here, do some quick TA here. If you were to, basically, I'll take a screenshot here of this. Bring it up here. Boom, 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 boom. And let's see. Can I draw on here? That is not what I wanted to do. That is not what I wanted to do. Let me try that one more time, guys. Having problems with the screenshot. Okay. Okay. Double click. There we go. Double click. There it is. Okay. All right. So if you're looking at quant and you are looking at prospects of this thing moving here, I would say it's very interesting because right now it does not look like, in my opinion, that it is going to be doing anything significant here. Why in the world can I not draw on this right now, but I can always draw on them every other time? Click the screenshot. Double click that. There we go. You have to double click it when it's in the corner. Sorry that took so long. I don't know what's wrong with me, guys. Okay. So if you were to draw a line here, and this is not going to be a straight line, obviously, because I do not have the ability, I don't think, on here to do a line. Maybe I do and I don't know. This is basically Microsoft Paint for dummies. But if you were to kind of look at this trend line here, and you can see there, made it straight. Look at that. Made it straight. Perfect. Move it up there. Boom. You can see right now, this is at a point of resistance on this. So if you were a betting man, I would short quant right now. That doesn't mean I'm not bullish on quant. That doesn't mean I don't think quant's a great coin. We're doing deep dives. I'm trying to learn more about it. We covered it a while back. It's just not been particularly in my purview. We're really taking a hard look at these ISO 20022 coins. And if you're just a TA guy and you're looking at that, I mean, that's a dead straight line. It's right at resistance. If it were to get above this, then I would say, yeah, you would definitely want to long it because that's going to show momentum. But if it dips a little bit below here, it gets rejected again. I mean, look right here. It looked like a great opportunity to short right there if you would have drawn the line. But of course, that did look like maybe, no, it was a lower high than this. So very interesting. So, Mason was talking about crypto quant or about quant pumping. And, it definitely is pumping right now for the week, but that does not mean that this thing is going to continue to the moon. It's got to break that resistance and is so far shown that it is getting rejected off of that. So very interesting there.
Oh, look at that.
ICP. What's that?
He just connected.
Yeah. I knew he'd be here. Crypto Live, his people are in here. So I knew they knew he was coming on. So I knew he's going to get on here. ICP up 23% for the week. Still in the $6 range. Aave showing some life. Looking for coins showing life. I would say Aave, Monero, Convex Finance has been moving. I don't know much about it though. I'm just trying to look for anything that catches my eyes. Like I've seen positive movement from this in the bear market. That's pretty much it. I mean, just those. So far, if you're looking for coins that have signs of life right now, I think Monero, Aave are two to watch. I'm not saying they're going to do well. I'm just saying those, in my opinion, will be two to watch based on how Monero's been holding tough, and then how Quant has been pumping, and also Aave has had a lot of big news. It's developing its ecosystem out a lot bigger, having a stable coin, yada yada yada. So, all right, let's go ahead and let's bring the Lifer on.
The Lifer.
Now, I did not wear my Braves gear today, but I did bring my Braves championship ring. I did go to the game last night.
I was about to say, if you're wearing an Atlanta Braves gear today, it's gonna freak me out.
Yeah, I know, that was super weird. Now, I might have if I wasn't aware that trend was going on.
Yeah,
I mean, look,
awesome.
That's your job. Spot trends. You spotted it.
Yeah, I got to see the trends, man.
So the support has been broken.
Right. How you been, man?
What? Yeah, things are good, man. What's going on with you? How are you?
Can't complain. Life is good. Had a good little week with the family. July 4th week. Always spend time with the family for that week, and really got some time to be an uncle. I'm Uncle Sam, so it's kind of funny. The real Uncle Sam, by the way. I'm not the poser.
Come collecting. Come correct. Well, let's take a look at the markets because there's a lot of interesting stuff going on right now. Bitcoin went back below 20,000. I feel like we're really at a pivotal point over the next few weeks. I would say this week I think is very pivotal for the direction, length of this market, things like that. What are some things that you are looking at with the TA?
All right, let's break it down. I like to bring you guys like 5 different charts. I work for like a few hours. Number one, I just like to spotlight this idea. This is me, April 8th, 2021, showing the Pi Cycle chart, telling you that we would top out when these two lines would cross. So I know other people are jumping on the Pi Cycle bandwagon. I've been using this thing for like a year and a half now. Very accurate. It actually showed us when the top would occur. The top actually did occur when these two lines would cross. I would just want to jump into that because we're seeing that a lot. Other traders are talking about the Pi Cycle bottom. Are we bottoming here? I mean, when these two lines cross, we've gotten a bottom. We've got a bottom right there, right? Back in 2018, we got a bottom here back in 2015. Yes, it's only 2. 3 is a coincidence. You know, it could be a pattern. You know, you can't guarantee things like this, but I've put a lot of weight on the pi cycle indicator before, and it has played out. When the whole market, they told us, oh, we're going to go higher, 100K. Pi cycle said no, and it was 100% right. So I have nothing else to really go on. I go on this idea. So there's a chance this is the bottom. However, with a grain of salt, this could be the bottom within a week, 10 days, right? When they get close, like there's a little wiggle room when you're using large indicators. So let's kind of move back here and zoom out a little bit to the daily, right? I'm looking at the VRVP, the visible range volume profile, and you can see that we do have a chunk of volume. It's going to show up down here, which is kind of sketchy at 8,700. When I pull my measured move, which I took this pull nice and neat right there, it brings me to 8,700. We could wick down to 8,700 you know. So I actually gave away my entire strategy last week. I said, listen, I got like, let's, you know, not to be rude, I got a few $100,000. I'm not the richest guy in the world, but I got some cash stashed. I'm going to be buying Bitcoin as if it's the bottom right now. I bought Bitcoin as with the bottom here, and they get bigger as I get worse. I use the Crypto Fear and Greed Index. I've been using that for a long time. That indicator is great. When it gets to a 7, 6, 8, and 9, I unload. Like instead of buying 500 at a time, I'm always buying $100 every couple of days. Like I'm always buying Bitcoin, but I'm going way heavier when I see the Fear and Greed Index get high, and when I see and I use the weekly too. I use the weekly stochastics and the weekly 2-week stochastic. Whenever the weekly 2-week stochastics is below the dotted line, I have to buy because it's been helping me the last 5 years. It's helped me. That's the greatest thing about having time in the market. You've actually done the behaviors that you're watching all these other YouTubers. Oh, do this, do that. I've done it. I've actually done it. So I have faith in my own behavior. I don't look at everyone else's analysis. I look at my own. So I buy as if it's the bottom now because it could be. And I'm keeping about, you know, I want to buy 5 to 7 Bitcoins around this area. So I'm making sure I have enough to buy that much there. And I'm buying as if the bottom's right here. And I'm cool with that. And I'm okay if the buys that I get here go down by 50%. Because if I get down at that low and we bounce back up, it's going to clear away that loss anyway. So I've thought it out. I've given myself the worst, the best case. And could we go to 3K? I'm open-minded. Anything is possible. The second you start saying, I think, I feel, I feel like that's when I lose and I miss out. When I keep myself focused on the charts, when I keep myself open-minded, I'm able to take advantage. 4 years from now, me and you are going to be sitting there, you know, drinking virgin strawberry daiquiris because I don't drink and I know you don't drink. And we're going to have a blast, dude.
Yeah.
You know? So
we're going to kill it, man. Just like I did in the last market, you know? And
exactly.
You know,
it gets easier to navigate these bearish times, right? Once you've been in them before. You know, thank God we have the time in the market. And I tell my students that time in the market, no one can take away your time in the market, you know?
Well, when you're new and this is your first bear market, you tend to think like two polarized thoughts, and yet somehow they're simultaneously in your head, which is, it's going to turn around anytime. It's going to turn any day. It's going to go back up any day, any day.
Move.
And then, and then you're also kind of thinking like, what if it never goes back up? You know? So when you got the experience of the market of being through a few of these and knowing, you know, it's just a matter of time. It's a waiting game. It's a patience game. You're in a much better position. And, you know, there's a reason why those of us who've been through multiple markets, why we tell you guys to relax. It doesn't feel good, but you got to relax. I want to go back. I want to go back, Lifer, to the your pi cycle chart there, because I want to question. I have a question about that. Now, I hated the pi cycle top when it was saying it was the top, because all of our other indicators were showing we weren't at the top. We had 5 indicators on Glassnode we were looking at. Of course, Plan B, all this stuff, stock to flow. We were showing, you know, this is the one outlier that was showing the top of the market, and it turned out to be the one that's correct. So definitely has some validity and some credibility going forward. What I wanted to look at is, can you show us kind of what the lines look like for the pandemic crash? Because we know it showed the bottom of the last market, but what was going on with it in terms of the crash there? Okay, so
because this is such a logarithmic, like algorithmic indicator, right? I believe it's taking a lot of data through like a buffer of weeks at a time, and then extrapolating that into exponential smaller zones. Because the pandemic was so small, I didn't think it gave the pi cycle time to react to it, right? Because that boom, it was so violent. We got close, but we didn't cross, you know? At the same time, I mean, this still said you never went lower than the bottom. It does not going to tell you when you might have an issue, but it really marks the bottom. It's like the best indicator for the one moment in time. You know what's funny, Ben?
What's that?
I teach a class every Tuesday today from 3 to 5.
Driver's ed?
And yeah, in the technical analysis class.
Okay.
But the thing that I show my students a lot on this class is because we go over patterns, basic patterns. That's a rising wedge. Rising wedges break down 68% of the time, right? And then if you look at here, this was a head and shoulders. They break down 68% of the time. So had you just shorted the market here, you were 70% accurate based on just the simple. I teach my students that they do a beginner's course. They've never done TA again in their life. And at the end of that course, I'm like, and some days I'm telling you what, we're drawing 100 lines, 100 things. And when I just zoom out and I play this simple idea, like I tell everyone, post up on a falling wedge 100 times. You should win 60 trades. So it's about consistency and nailing the same point over and over again. Everyone thinks TA is this magic. No, it's just like everything else you do in life. Show up every day and keep hitting the same things. Be consistent. You will not find any consistency in trading if you're not consistent, you know? I just find that so funny how that's just a simple thing, but it was there. It was right there staring us, the whole market in the face. 70% chance that wasn't going any higher, you know?
Yeah, I see a lot of
people couldn't see it. You know?
A lot of random people in the chat saying we should bring Benjamin Cowan on. Sure. Me and Ben are friends. Yeah, sure, I'll bring him on. I like Ben.
I watch a lot of his stuff. I never fully got, I never used it to make money though, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Benjamin Cowan's going to come on every once in a while. That's just his thing. He'll come on every once in a while. We talk a pretty good bit. We got some mutual contacts, and
I definitely have like at least 70 to 100 hours of watching him though.
Yeah, exactly. He's one of the best. You know? I mean, he's one of the best for sure. Nobody can dispute that. But what I would say here is I found out that you are not like when you're doing trading, you're talking technical analysis. You're not leverage trading. Like you don't like leverage trading. Is that correct?
I'm not huge into leverage trading. Okay. I'll tell you why. Mm-hmm. I did it. You know, I got into it. I had a leverage trading boot camp. I used to teach it, and I would teach people how to. You know, I took $100, turned it into $800 in 36 hours. I was at my computer. I barely slept. I was staring at the ups and downs. My heart was racing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Then I put like 20 grand in a spot trade and doubled it up. And like, it took a month, and it was like, I found cake. I got lucky and I was prepared. I found cake at 60 cents, wrote it to 44. I mean, and I only put $1,800, turned it into 100 grand. Like I've done things spot that many leverage traders never did. So why the heck am I going to trade leverage? Yeah. If leverage trading was profitable, they wouldn't offer it. I keep saying that over and over again. I would disagree with that. I would say it can be profitable. The vast majority of everybody's going to lose. But I think really what you hit on there, I think is really, really important because, and look, certainly most people are going to lose. Like that's the way the markets work. So I understand what you're saying. Yeah. But like I turned $80,000 into $1 million live on the show last year. So it is possible. Yep. I won like 23 out of 24 trades. It was like a sick run. In a good bull market,
everything lined up.
Moves. Yeah. You know, you had a trend. You were rocking a trend. Yeah. And the trend just kept taking care of you.
It did.
If you jump in right now and try to leverage trade, you may bury yourself. Like it's not going to be as easy, you know?
Well, for me personally, because my bias is bullish. So my bias is bullish. So I'm going to tend to, like in a bull market, do better. Whereas some people like, you know, crypto savvy, like he might do much better in a bear market because he's just counting on it going down, 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 down. Savvy. So it is important to have your bias supported in the market direction. But what I would say is I think you really hit it on the head because I think the most important thing that people need to know about leverage trading is number one, always use proper risk management. That's the basic. Don't spend what you can't afford to lose. But beyond that, it's a full-time job. Like it is not something to where you're going to be thinking about it constantly. You're going to be dreaming about it. You're going to have nightmares. That's why I did it for about 3 months, nonstop, pretty high leverage, and I won, and I cashed out, and I didn't really do a lot of trading after that.
You did great. I saw a bunch of your trades. Like,
But you just have to understand, like, it's a big commitment. Yeah, it's not just like you're going to come on there and make a bunch of money. So I just want to get your viewpoint on that because, you know, I think
one other thing, I do trade. I trade 3S and 3L tokens, and I will dabble with 5X leverage. Mm-hmm. I just really don't go much higher. Again, like I said before, I've had success in a way where I don't feel the need to leverage trade. Now, this is the problem. People come in with 1,000 and they're like, I can't do much with that. I have to leverage trade. The thing is, I'm not 100% against anything. I think anyone could do anything with their mind, with any opportunity presented to them. If that's what they can do, right? You could do it.
Concentrate hard enough, I can move a ball with my head.
Yeah, exactly. Telekinesis. Yeah. But the thing is this, beginners have no idea what they're going to, like, like I tell everyone, trading teaches you if you're greedy, if you're humble, like you think you're not greedy, but then you're up 100 grand, you won't take the money, and then you have to, you know, limp out with 50, and you're like, why didn't I take 100? What was wrong with me? Like, I must be a greedy guy. Like, but I'm nice to my neighbors. It pinpoints sensitive parts of your mind and soul that like really find out who you are. Like, I love trading because it taught me everything about being a better person, being patient, being humble, getting my butt whipped and having to come back and realize that I just didn't do my homework. You know, it basically was the father figure that I always needed. Beginners get into leverage trading and the emotion is so strong. So I say, like, give yourself 2 to 3 years of learning how to put money in and out of a market before you get into. So I'm not like 100% against it. I just feel like a lot of people come to me as a beginner, as a door into crypto, and I don't want to lead them astray their first 2 months. And a lot of people joined my group, said, I clicked on a leverage trading link and I lost $5 grand and now I'm here getting an education. So like I hear it from the people. And, you know, so that's basically my reason. I'm just trying to protect the beginner, the first guy who gets in here. I want him to be able to DCA into Bitcoin. A lot of people start with 5K, they end up with no Bitcoin. They leverage traded to zero. Had they just even DCA, they'd have something in a cold wallet. You know, that's all. I want to change the world. I don't know if leverage trading is really going to change the world, but I know if people DCA into Bitcoin, we could change the world. So that's kind of how I look at it.
Yeah, I think it's a good perspective. I certainly understand that. I think that really what it boils down to is for some people, like, they are just degenerates and they're going to think that they can beat it when everybody else can't. And they're going to be the one that does it. A little history of my leverage trading. First time I did it, I turned, you know, like $400 into like $1,000. Then I lost it all. Then later on, as I give it another try, I turned about $1,000 into $4,000, and then I lost it all. Then I put in another $1,000. Now this is over a 1.5 year period. Put in another $1,000, ran it up to 8K when I really need some money. Then I lost it all. And so then I really committed to really using market Cipher and learning it and stuff like that. And then I had the really big, next time I started, I traded. I went from 80,000 to 1 million. Then I went from 10,000 to 100,000. And then I lost that 100,000. I was like, okay, I'm out. So it is up and down, but you know, it's one of these things where there are certain people, but you got to breathe it. You got to live, eat, and breathe it. Live, eat, sleep, and breathe it. If you are sleeping,
encompassing
it is.
Part
and,
of your life.
And that's the thing I don't think people are ready for. I think that's really where a lot of people get straight because they get impatient and they want the trade to go now, and then that's what they do. So I think that was a really good conversation. That's a really good conversation for beginners to listen to. Now, Critical Lifer, last thing, I just want to come back on the pandemic thing, pandemic wick. Let me tell you what I think we're going to see. I think there is potential if that Pi cycle top is saying, and people are saying this week is pivotal, we get bad CPI data, maybe we do wick. Maybe we should set some buy orders, TJ, at like 9,800 or something.
I have buy orders from 7K all the way to 17.5, just layered.
I think
5K at each of them.
I think it might be smart right now to do.
I took 25K and I layered 5 orders, dude. What else can you do?
Because you could get a wick. I mean, this thing could wick to 87 and go right back to 15. You know, and you can make a big amount if you got those orders in.
I was actually thinking about that this morning.
That 0.75, July 26th, they're coming out with the news, right? And so what if they go to a point? You know, I don't know. They're so scared of getting freaking rocks thrown at them that they're trying to make, like, I think me and you both know they can't stop inflation. Like, we knew this 10 years ago.
Well,
like,
the CPI is coming out. We
started
this
our crypto
week.
channels because we know they're going to print money to zero. And
they're saying it's going to be. They're saying buckle in. That's what I'm reading. That's what we're going to talk about today. They're saying buckle in. It's going to be bad. And if that's the case, and they're not trying to rug pull us, then we could potentially see the bottom now. I still think we get at least a wick, maybe a double bottom, or at least similar to what we saw with the pandemic.
Something you
wick
said
there
recently,
after
December
the midterm election.
16th, you said 10K or something?
December 16th, December 16th, 2024 for new all-time high. November 28th is when I'm targeting for the bottom historically. 3 to 5 weeks after the midterm election. So I do think we're going to get some downward momentum after that. We usually do see it. But look, history rhymes. It doesn't always, sound exactly the same. So keep in mind, I think this is the first thing I've seen, Lifer, where I'm looking at that Pi cycle talk indicator and saying,
I'm not saying you called the top, but I do remember you around the Coinbase IPO being a little sketched out by price action and being like, you started uttering the ideas that 100K may not be on the table. You know?
Then I got people in my ear after that, I had people in my ear.
Whatever.
I'm not
I said
saying they're
7K,
bad.
people throwing tomatoes at me,
I don't think they were bad people. I don't think I was getting misled necessarily. I think maybe that person didn't have all the correct information they thought they did, or maybe things changed, whatever it is. It turned out not to be correct, and kind of in the middle of the year, we pivoted, and worked out. We said about bounce back in the middle of July. It didn't work out as we got towards the end of the year. But, we did call, back in 2019, we called top of the bull market of this next one in between Halloween and Thanksgiving. We said September 28th for Bitcoin, and that would be the altcoin season. We didn't get the altcoin season. So the overall market ended up right in that time frame that we called for years. So Bitcoin cycle, theory is definitely, very, very powerful. So, Liver, we have gone way over our time today, but I think we've had some really great.
Sorry, man.
No, it's not your fault.
I had a good time.
No, it's a great conversation. So definitely, you guys make sure to go check out Crypto Liver's channel. One of my favorite guys out there, working hard in the bear market. This guy's a winner. Always trying to give the best to his audience. Make sure to smash the like button. If you like expert guests on the show, and Liver, we will catch you next time. Not wearing Braves gear.
Yo, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, man. God bless you and your
Absolutely.
family and all the Bit Squad. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man, I love you, bro. You're a great guy.
I love you too, man. Thank you, man.
Oh, I gotta keep this on. We gotta go to TikToks.
Yeah, we're
Keep it
gonna
on.
do TikTok.
Straight to TikToks.
I like. I think another important thing he said there at the beginning. I don't want it to get lost on people,
Yeah.
especially if you're new. This is something we've talked about a few times as far as like the downside to upside risk. Accumulation zones are important. Like you don't have to nail the bottom. Of course you want to. Of course, especially if you only have a few $1,000s, the closer you get, the better. But you really need to be looking at this as like a long-term 5-10 year investment, just like most investments. So if you can get, that's why I'm telling my friends and family, like even if we could go to 14K, 10K, 12K, some of these really low numbers, anything they get under 20K for Bitcoin, under 1,000 for Ethereum, I call a good buy. So just keep that in mind. We're not all going to nail it at 100%.
Yeah, you're not going to. Catching tops and bottoms is about impossible. Usually one person will catch the top, like exactly the top. A guy will catch it, and they'll talk about him the whole bear market. I don't know who. Well, blockchain backer, he called it this time for sure. He's not getting as much attention as the guy who shorted it. Those institutional guy was in the last bear market, but shout out to blockchain backer. Love that guy. All right, guys. TikToks, let's go.
Ready?
So in this segment, we're gonna listen to some TikToks, and I'm gonna tell you what I think about them. You think you can hurt me? I literally bought the Bitcoin top in 2017, 17,500, and held all the way to 3,200, and then had bags pump that I left on Cryptopia, but they got hacked, and I lost all my coins. That's the famous, the lovely Crypto Wendy Ho, guys.
Oh.
Can you pause it?
No.
Oh, you got to come back. Well,
yeah, we're going to the next one.
What? Well,
on the question of whether the United States is poised to overcome its long-term debt cycle issues, figure it this way. This generation, unfortunately, is burdened by debts that have been given by the prior generation, and those are obligations. And either they will be paid back in hard money, and that'll be painful, because that means that people will have to spend less than they earn. So that's going to be tough. Or the only way you can deal with this debt is to earn more than you spend. And we're going to have to change our behaviors. That requires a lot. It means you either have to work harder or more productively to earn more than you spend, or you're going to have to cut your spending. And that's just the way it is.
It's just the way it is.
On the question of whether
the United States is poised to
overcome its long-term debt cycle issues, figure it this way.
Hold on.
This generation.
There you go. Okay.
I still hear him.
Oh, you still hear it?
I still hear him.
Okay. Well, we can't.
There we go, guys. Okay. I think this works best when we listen to it and then I get to react to it. It'd be best if we could pause it while it's on. Like we could mute it while it's on there.
We'll definitely do
We'll get it figured out. First show, first segment.
There's another one.
That's Ray Dalio. And I think what's really interesting here is he's basically prescribing, what we need to fix the gigantic economic problem we're in.
Yeah.
But there's only one problem. We have to count on the government to do those things.
Well, this is what that reminds me of, it in more of a comedic way. That was the Trayvon James meme for boomers.
Yeah.
Like that was him trying to explain to you, like, you kind of don't have any money. This money you think you have, well, it's not really there. And this whole thing of like spending less than you make, or maybe just even close to what you actually make instead of way more than you actually have, you're going to have to start doing that.
Yeah.
It's like your grandpa trying to tell you, you haven't been financially responsible for your entire life.
All you do is go buy weed and cigarettes with that money, son.
Yeah.
That's what my grandpa used to tell me when I was a kid.
Look at him now.
But yeah, so look, Ray's a very smart guy. He is. He's got a lot of great content on YouTube. Almost all his videos have millions and millions and millions of views, but he hardly ever puts them out. But yeah, that's him explaining simply to the boomers, y'all done messed up.
Yeah.
All right, moving on here. Next TikTok.
Yeah. And then Wendy's, we can relate 100%.
Definitely relate.
I'm going to show you possibly the biggest lie in history, at least if a lie could be measured by money. And that is because it is a lie two specific companies would love you to believe. Unfortunately, many say there may be nothing we can do to fix this lie. And the lie is that there is a world's richest person. Currently, this richest person is Elon Musk. And I'll show you why some of the darkest organizations want you to believe this. According to Forbes, people like Elon and Jeff Bezos are the world's richest people, but they can only list people whose assets are visible or public knowledge. Try as you might, there are people and organizations with assets so secret it is impossible to calculate their wealth. And since wealth is unfortunately power, this is a problem. For example, there is no way to know the worth of Vladimir Putin or the Saudi family. People can give estimates like saying they're worth $1.4 trillion, but this is nothing more than a guess. Knowing that assets can be hidden leads us to these two organizations, BlackRock and Vanguard. And there is good reason many people say these companies run the world. And the strange part is that both of these companies are the biggest investor of the other. For many, this is a massive warning sign, especially since they own a huge stake in all the major news networks. This includes Fox and CNN. And on a side note, they would seem to profit from the rhetoric that keeps us divided, along with having major sway in what the networks can say. Big Pharma? Vanguard owns huge shares in Pfizer. Oil and gas? They hold Shell, even Microsoft. And the scariest part is that they hold majority voting power in many of their investments. So who is the owner of them? They are so heavily invested in each other, it's strange to call them two companies. A quick Google search and a legal probe will show you that nobody actually knows who owns them. And because the organization is private, nobody knows who is a member of the company, though Vanguard has said that BlackRock has a unique company structure, which doesn't sound sketchy at all. There is one very public figure, however, and this is Larry Fink. He loves working at deep levels in the government and has no political affiliation because he will go wherever the money flows. He tried being the secretary for Hillary Clinton and was brought on as an advisor for Trump. He plays both sides. We saw this as he tried for the position of secretary for the Biden administration. So with all this mystery around the BlackRock Vanguard group, who is the richest person? If we go back in history, we can see that the Rothschild family is one of BlackRock and Vanguard's biggest holders. And conspiracy theorists have had a heyday with the stories of this family over decades. Other shareholders include the Bush family and even the royal family of England. So though we may know the families tied to these organizations, we may never know who runs them. And these shady individuals clearly have a reason they want to keep it that way. Welcome to the Gleek.com channel as we reveal more about the world of money and crypto. I'm going to show you possibly
that was great.
Yeah. Well, we're not supposed to say that name on the channel, my God. I didn't say it though. She said it.
Yeah.
Now, do we have the links to those accounts?
I was wondering the same thing. I want to find out.
Yeah, if you can get those, BJ, and put them in before, like in the description, and you can drop them in the chat. Because look, guys, we just got this segment going. I thought those were some interesting videos. We put them on right for the show. I do want to give those people credit. Crypto Windio, obviously. Ray Dalio, I think it's Ray Dalio Invest on TikTok, and that was Gleek.com. It's GLECC on TikTok, so you can check them out. But that was a very great video. That was a better video than I've done, I think.
Yeah, that'd be cool to maybe have her on the channel or on ATB or something.
I don't know if she's saying them names. I don't know if we get her on channel. Watch what she says on here. Don't get my channel taken down. But yeah, very interesting stuff, and I think that. Guys, we've been telling you this for a while. These are literally the tools of Satan himself. BlackRock and Vanguard. Their goal is to take everything. They are the most evil. Like, you have the temptations of Jesus in the Bible. Where devil takes and puts him on the rock and says, look at all these worlds. You can have all of this stuff, every single thing. Well, Jesus said no.
They said yes.
BlackRock said yes. Yeah. So Larry Fink, he said yes. Nobody knows who owns Vanguard. Like, we know Larry Fink's the CEO of BlackRock. We don't even know who the CEO of Vanguard is.
Well, and I would say this too: the fact that so many people do know and talk about Vanguard and BlackRock, you can rest assured there's layer upon layer upon layer deeper that people don't know about either. So
somebody says, Nunchaku says, so what are we going to do? Oh, nothing. Well, actually, I've been having some talks with some folks about some things that can be done, to stop these companies. And, you know, once I say all this stuff, it's a long process. It's not easy. It won't happen overnight. But there are things that we as United States citizens can do to band together, especially investors, especially people who have, you know, voting rights in companies. There are things that we can do. And this is something we've talked about, going down the rabbit hole of how can we literally do something to stop these people. And there are ways that we can do it. I've met a guy who told me what his company is doing. And it's not like they're fighting against them directly. They're basically just doing something very simple, and they're able to combat a lot of the power that BlackRock has and Vanguard has. So I'll be, you know, maybe we'll do a video on that down the road. If that's something you guys want, maybe we can do that. So,
well, and I would argue just using Bitcoin, talking about Bitcoin, sharing the message of Bitcoin, in my experience, has been the best defense we've found. You know, they use the financial money system for the most control.
Me and TJ are protected pretty much. I mean, well, they may try to kill me, but me and TJ are protected from, you know,
well, no, but
like
I just mean you hear that a lot. Like, oh, everybody says, oh, you talk about this stuff, but you don't ever do anything about it. Well, no, talking about it is doing something about it. Using Bitcoin is fighting back. And in my experience, Bitcoin exiting the money system they created is the most powerful way to fight them.
Yeah, well, but there are actually even more, like, I agree with you. Like, at a fundamental crypto level, that is the best way we can do things in the crypto community. But there are ways even in the outside crypto community that people can do to be able to pressure companies who BlackRock and Vanguard have a lot of voting power with, to use your pressure to pressure these companies to basically go opposite directions, to go the way that the people, other investors want to go. And there's a way you can maintain your voting rights even if BlackRock has a piece of your company. So it's very interesting, because you guys have to understand what these companies do is that they're just investment companies. So they don't technically own anything. Their investors own everything. So what do? They invest in, like, let's say Amazon stock, a gigantic amount, like 10%. Well, what have they done? Now they've got 10% of the voting power to control the company to go the direction they want it to go without ever actually having to put up $1 of their own money. They're using investments to buy control and power. That's what it is. So there are ways to fight against that. All right, moving on to the show, guys. Here's a picture. This is the deepest picture of space. And guys, I don't know about you, deepest picture we ever had of space. I still don't see any aliens. No aliens. Sorry, you guys. That's your religion. Bitcoin price at 7-day low as U.S. Warns of highly elevated CPI data. This is the bad news. This is the bombshell. Crypto market jitters around inflation expand with Bitcoin and Ethereum dropping to levels not seen since last week. That's not that big of a deal. But what we want to come down here is look at this. Markets were primed for higher than expected figures from the consumer price index. 40-year highs in May. So on Wednesday, tomorrow, we will have the new CPI inflation data. And we expect the headline number, which includes gas and food, to be highly elevated. Highly elevated. What's it at right now? 8.7?
Something like that, yeah.
Can you look it up while I'm talking?
Yeah.
Mainly because gas prices were so elevated in June. The trip, blah, 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 blah. Tomorrow is going to be decisive, said Cointelli's guy with, that guy just sucks. I'll just say it like that. I'm not even going to make fun of his name again, because there might be other people with that name. Let's see here. DXY is telling us inflation hasn't peaked. As long as this is still moving up, that is not peaked. So this is a good indicator to watch. So you could have made the argument back here, maybe, well, right here when we got a red candle, maybe that was a peak. Then we made higher highs. Very interesting. I want to know what the numbers, what they're projecting it to be. Rhett Capital said maybe 30% downside. Where would that put us? 30% downside. Let's check this out and see. 30% downside from where we're at right now. I went a little bit high, about $14,000, you know, and I'm telling you that $10,000 to $14,000 range is very strong. We've been looking at it. I know Lifer said 8,700. To me and TJ, I think after we get off the show, we're going to be talking about some buy orders, I think, because this is something I do believe we need to be ready for. Let me see. What are the June CPI estimates? Let's see what they're talking about.
9. That's what I'm seeing.
What's that?
I've seen a bunch of like 9.4, which would be.
I mean, it's got to be. June headline. Well, that was June headline to exceed 8.6, but it's 8. It was 8.6 in June, or in May, excuse me. In May, it was 8.6. So it's going to exceed 8.6%, but nobody is saying what. Isn't this weird? Because usually they put out expectations for about what they think it's going to be like a day before.
Right.
You know? And the fact that they're not tells me kind of one of two things. Either this is being pushed out for FUD to make people think, to terrify the markets for a scam wick or something like that, and not just the crypto markets, but the overall markets, or it's going to be so insanely high that they're just going to wait and put the number out, because if they put the estimates out, it's going to do the same thing. You know, they don't want to give people the expectation. So there's also a chance, though, that, like I said, maybe it's not going to exceed. Maybe this is like lies coming out and manipulation. It could be, but I think we are going to see it higher. 8.6 was May. I think we're going to see at least 8.7, but I think we will certainly see not like, let's see if anybody expects it to be 9%. Food prices rose 9%. So we'll see what happens, guys. I mean, this is very concerning here. This is the bombshell. This is the big story to be looking at here about what is going to happen to the crypto markets. And guys, I don't want to tell you. Somebody's saying 8.8. Somebody said 9.8. I think that's a typo. 8.7. 8.8 is the expectation. A lot of people are saying 8.8. So could be 8.8, could be 8.9, could be 8.7. But we'll check that out. Shadow Stats has real inflation and unemployment numbers. Probably so, using probably the standard ways that they used to check it. But obviously, that's not really applicable to the market panic that will come with this. So top crypto strategist says explosive Bitcoin rally imminent. Who says that? Credible Crypto. I made fun of that guy before, and he turned out to be right. So who knows? Maybe this could be we get a big wick down and bounce back up. More than 62,000 crypto traders liquidated as Bitcoin, Ethereum take tumble. It's not really that many. I mean, 62,000 is a lot. 62,000 trades got liquidated as it dropped below 20,000. And guys, I got to say, like this is not what we expected. We did not expect Bitcoin to go to 22,000 and come back down so quickly under 20. I told you guys when it was at 21.5, it looked like it could potentially be a good time for a long. Gareth Soloway was looking at 28K. We were saying 28K could be a number to look at. Crypto Savvy, bearish guy y'all know, saying it could go to 24, 25. No momentum for the relief rally. So the relief rally looks like it's pretty much dead at this point. Still got a lot of green dots on a lot of charts. We're just getting a lot of confusing information right now. It's like all the systems are going haywire because the numbers are getting so out of control. Total number of Bitcoin addresses ever created. Here's a bullish story for you. Hits 1 billion milestone. That is a pretty good number. But I would tell you, what are the active on that, I wonder? Does it say?
The on-chain stuff still, you know, like, and this is what we talk about all the time. The technical, the technicals of what's actually happening on the network lag when it comes to the price. So things are good. You know, more people have one Bitcoin than ever before, more addresses, both for Bitcoin and Ethereum. A lot of good network activity. And that's what you'll see push the price up next bull cycle. The building blocks that's happening right now. It's just not immediate. Just like
these are the things that basically give the bull run the momentum to move forward. But it's set in the bear. Look, the foundations for the bull market are built in the bear market. You know, we always talk about build in the bear market. You know, that's what happens there as well. Active Bitcoin addresses. Let's see. What is that number? I'd be very curious to see Bitcoin active addresses. Right now, we are looking at, check this out. Active addresses, about 725K right now. It's been as high as 1.2 million. So a billion created, but only 1.2 million of those. So 1% of those, less than 1% of those are active. Just to give you some accurate numbers, I'm not saying it's a good or a bad thing, but you know, it's just a billion addresses is like whoop-de-doo. Wow, how many people just sat and created a trust wallet and then never touched it? You know what I mean?
Or created 10 wallets within it.
Do you think Luna Classic Burn will affect price? Luna's dead, guys. Let's move on from that. Thank you for the super chat, $2 super chat, Elijah Fulker. Not saying anything bad about your question. I'm just saying I don't expect Luna to do anything ever again. You the same, TJ?
Yes.
POS gives Ethereum. Let's talk about Ethereum. Why can Ethereum overtake Bitcoin? I talk about this a lot. A lot of people are super interested in this take. A lot of altcoin people share this take. A lot of Bitcoin maximalists, well, all Bitcoin maximalists do not share this take. Proof of stake gives Ethereum the economic structure to overtake Bitcoin, says DeFi researcher. Researcher Vivek Raman said that after the merge, ETH inflation will be lower, security will be better, and ETH will position itself as a digital bond. These are all stuff I've been telling you. Interesting, he says position itself as a digital bond. We'll look at that. As Ethereum shifts into proof of stake, a decentralized finance researcher. It's just so funny. I don't know. It's just such a random title, Yeah. DeFi researcher has argued that the platform can overtake Bitcoin's throne as a top dog in crypto. He created a thread where he highlighted the merge and all the things that it could do, including, like I said, creating that digital bond. He explained the platform would be running on better security after the merge. Hey, we gave you this number yesterday. We said it's now a 95% decrease in inflation for Ethereum. And I mean, it was not hard math. 0.2% is what it will be, or 0.22%. 4.3% is what it is now. Well, if you divide, you divide 4 by 10, you get 0.43, and then you half that, and you get about that number, and that gives you 95%. It is going to be absolutely insane. So what that means is, in the next 20 years, we are going to get as much Ethereum as we would have gotten in 1 year, or I guess it's actually 19 years. We will get as much Ethereum in 19 years now added to the supply as we previously were getting every year. Think about that. That's insane. This really seems to level the playing field here. Let's see. Apart from these, Raman also believes that Ethereum merge will allow ETH to complement Bitcoin's use case, store value, and a collateral asset. Interesting. Earlier in July, the average gas fees required, yada, yada, yada. So he doesn't really go into, I guess we'd have to really pull up that thread, and we're kind of short on time here, so I'm not going to do that. Ethereum co-founder responds to POS critics. Man, why do you have to call them all POSs? Amid upcoming merge. What is a realistic price target for ETH after the merge? I think $2,000. I mean, it's just bear market. That's what it is. $2,000 would be extremely bullish for Ethereum if the market's still down.
I'd say it's relative too, because it depends on when the merge is.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm looking end of year, beginning of next year. It may be faster, it may be fall. But I'm looking Q4 or Q1, 2023. By the time this thing fully gets rolled out, I think $2,000 by the new year. I do believe it's possible. But if we get another 50% drop from here and Ethereum's at $500, well, now that looks more like, okay, maybe it can get back to where it is right now at $1,200. It's not going to run count. Well, I will say this though, it feels very bearish right now because of where we're at macroeconomically and with Bitcoin. But I would tell you this, when it comes to Ethereum, before everybody was so bearish, I felt like there was a chance that we could get this ETH merge. And if it was very successful, it could actually propel maybe a new wrinkle to the Bitcoin cycle to where the altcoin season may come in the bear market, potentially. Ethereum could lead the entire market based on the merge. We'll see. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I think it definitely is possible. Right now, leaning towards no, just because everything's so bearish and it just feels like a lot of weight. But yeah, I mean, I did think at one time that could happen. And then, of course, you get XRP case ending beginning of next year. Very interesting. Triggered a rebuttal. Do you approve of stakers? The fact you can vote on something to change its properties is proof that it's a security. Love Bitcoin. Because, Bitcoin can do that too, guys. Basically, the Bitcoin people have been attacking Ethereum, saying it's a security because of this. And he's saying, guess what? You can actually do that. Oh no, that's actually the original tweet. I'm sorry. But Bitcoin can do that too. The fact you can vote, that's what the Bitcoin upgrades are, right? Taproot had to be voted on by the nodes.
Yeah. Has to get consensus with the miners.
So let's see what Vitalik says as a response. I thought that was the snarky response. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Pro tip, if there's a long-established tradition of people debating A versus B based on deep arguments, touching on math, economics, moral philosophy, you come along saying B is dumb. We already talked about this.
Yeah, we covered that.
We covered that one. So what was the triggering a rebuttal? What did he rebut? Did he rebut this?
No. Or maybe.
Richard Hart did. Richard Hart said, I guess you don't understand how nodes in Bitcoin vote for soft and hard forks. Noob, it's even a bit spec. I tell you, man. Look, you may lose all your money with Hex. You may. I don't know. I don't know. You may lose all your money with Hex. Maybe it's a giant Ponzi. I don't know. Still available right now. But Richard Hart, I love this guy. I don't care what's going on with Hex. Separate from Hex. You guys know I don't really make comments about Hex. I don't own it. It's just not a coin that I'm into. But Richard is a smart guy. And he knows how to come back at these people. And that is an incredible response. And you know how I know it's incredible? This is basically what I just said a few minutes ago. So he's dead on. I mean, he first to market to get this answer back here. He knows what he's doing with these Bitcoin maxis. So Vitalik apparently responded somewhere, but I can't find it. So that's a really poorly written article with a poor headline.
Yeah,
so
and we covered it, I feel like yesterday, because it was Michael Saylor who tweeted it originally.
Yeah.
And we were like, that doesn't make any sense. Why would he say
Doesn't
that?
make any sense.
Yeah.
Lido DAO price moves higher as the Ethereum merge moves a step closer to completion. Now, correct me if I'm wrong here, but Lido Finance was the entire reason that a lot of these exchanges went insolvent.
It was
because it lost its peg.
The big
the
big
ST
one
ETH
that
right?
started the domino effect in a lot.
Yeah,
of
the
ways.
ST ETH. One protocol whose fate is largely tied to the successful completion of the merge is Lido DAO. I guess this is the same one. Lido
you can
Finance.
take your headphones off if you want, by the way.
My ears are sweating.
Yeah, you can thank Jen for that.
Yeah, that's crazy. Golly. Remind me that next time. Ethereum completing a merge, yada, yada, yada. Now, look, I'll just, ST ETH, absolutely. Here it is. It begins to recover after it lost its peg. Now, look, I just want to say this, okay? I'm not trying to start drama with anybody. I'm really not at this point. I'm over some of these people on Twitter, Zach XBT. I said my piece to him. No problems with that guy, whatever. I think, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but this is Kobe's project, Lido Finance. He at least was VC behind it. So I don't know. I haven't seen anybody making that connection, saying that, like holding him accountable on that, or I don't know. Maybe people have. I just don't. He blocked me on Twitter, so maybe I haven't seen it because of that. I don't have him blocked, but he has me blocked on Twitter. So maybe they have. Maybe he's answered questions. But I'm pretty sure he's behind. I'm not saying for 100%. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm incorrect. But if I remember correctly, last year over the summer, Blockchain Brad tweeted a bunch of stuff tying Kobe to Lido Finance, and maybe it's not even hidden. Maybe it's just all white out in the open. But there's some potential information for you guys on this that nobody's been talking about. And so I'm not trying to make a big stink about it because I don't know. It's a DeFi protocol. I mean, I'm not saying it's his fault, but I would think that there is potentially some something to research there and to at least look up and look into when we've all been talking about Lido Finance being the culprit here and nobody's really dug into it too deep. We just take it for what it is. It's just like kind of a, low level DeFi project, and it crashed, it lost its peg, but I don't know what all the implications are of that. So if anybody's got more, knowledge on that or more information, feel free to drop that in the chat. Like I said, I'm not trying to make accusations or, start drama with Kobe. I'm done with that. But it is what it is. Voyager Digital gives update on recovery plan. We talked about this yesterday morning. Was it yesterday morning or Monday morning? Voyager Digital said it's quickly as possible. Yesterday was Monday. Mm-hmm. So the Voyager email came out yesterday morning, I guess. Open user accounts. We talked about this yesterday. So I don't really necessarily think we need to go too much into this. We covered it. Voyager, you're going to get a potential pro rata. And see if anybody comments on that in the chat anywhere. I'd just be very curious about that. But you're going to get a pro rata share of crypto, pro rata proceeds from the recovery that's never coming. Common shares in a newly reorganized company. They've hired new restructuring lawyers. Voyager tokens, those will go to zero as soon as those things start moving out. Vol discloses $70 million asset deficit and seeks repayment moratorium, which I believe would put them at about That's about 23%, maybe, something like that. BitBoy created the Bitcoin logo. That's true, but it wasn't me. It was a different guy. So that's like basically they were down about 23% of all of their funds. They had lost 23% of everybody's money. So if they do something, if they get acquired, then the money's not there. They're in a big deficit. So, okay. Nobody commented on that at all. Wow. I'm gonna do some more research. I just want to know if it's correct information or not. Vault in the hot seat earlier this month. Vault signed indicative term sheet. Yada yada yada. Nexo potentially buying it. Very, very interesting because I don't even know how any of these places are still around. Suzu accuses. I thought he was missing. 3 Arrow Capital's liquidators of baiting hints at Starkware token. You guys gonna say a token at this point?
Wow.
Kobe said himself he co-founded Lido in a tweet in May 2021. So absolutely. So I don't know. Maybe we'll get him on the channel and talk about it. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'll ask him. Suzu has spoken out for the first time in 4 weeks as his crypto hedge fund 3 Arrows Capital faces an ongoing insolvency crisis. Suzu took to Twitter to share an email exchange claiming that unnamed liquidators had tricked 3AC into discussions and failed to exercise a Starkware token option they had committed to accepting. Sadly, our good faith to cooperate with the liquidators was met with baiting. Hope they did exercise good faith. What does WRT stand for? Do you know?
Where are you seeing it?
Right here, good faith, WRT.
Maybe it's supposed to be with.
Maybe. So maybe that's an acronym I'm not aware of.
Wrap. Usually it's wrapped something, but I don't know WRT.
I found, well, no, that would be a ticker. I find that usually like there are a lot of acronyms that standard businesses and investors know that I don't know because we're just not, like we learned that stuff at C12, you know. Like get your KOPs. What is it?
Key performance
KPIs. Your KPIs. First time I'm in there, I'm like, yeah, we gotta get those KPIs. Definitely, yeah. KPIs.
It's with reference to.
With reference to. Okay. Starkware token. Thank you. Thank you for that, guys. Zoo said that his distressed crypto hedge fund has been baited by Liquid. Now, is this what they're talking about? Where they're saying yesterday he's trying to basically liquidate outside of the proceedings? And this is kind of his reason for why he's doing that, putting it out in the air? I don't know. Second email Zeus shared accused the liquidators of agreeing to exercise a Starkware token by July 5th, then reneging on the offer without warning and their creditors with losses. Our clients believe that your omission to exercise company's rights to the Starkware exercise. What is the Starkware? Is that just a token? Is it a company?
I have no idea.
I haven't heard of that. Starkware. It sounds like a little Iron Man-ish.
I know.
Crypto gaming firm Animoca Brands. We love Animoca Brands, actually. Big fan of them. We've done some videos of them. They retweet my videos. I like that about them. You're a great company, Animoca. We salute you. Here's a proper salute, by the way. See some people on Twitter not saluting the right way. You guys know. Made it all the way to the last day of boot camp. Long story. Blockchain game developer Animoca Brands has raised $75.3 million following a fundraising drive. Now values the firm at $8.2 billion. Wow, $8.2 billion. An Australian company based in Hong Kong said the raise was part of a $360 million round in January. Animoca Brands invested in more than 340 companies to build its vision of a metaverse based around blockchain technology in which virtual assets can be bought and sold in the form of NFTs using crypto. The most recent financial statement in April, Animoca, which is also backed by Sequoia China and Coinbase Ventures, says portfolio of investments was worth $1.5 billion. They can't keep their greedy fingers off of everything. While reserves and digital assets were worth $4.2 billion. So there you go. Valuation pretty high here. Is it $8 billion, right? $8.2 billion. Wow, pretty good. Playboy to launch first meta mansion in the sandbox. Now, a lot of you guys may not realize that Playboy no longer does nudity. You're aware of that, right?
Yeah, I knew they were trying to do a rebrand.
No, they didn't try. They
they've been rebranding for the last
got the magazine.
10 or so years. 5 or 8, something like that.
Well, what they said is that, like, at the time, magazines like Maxim, or is Maxim still around? I don't even know.
Yeah.
Magazines like that were outselling it by leaps and bounds because of we'll just say that the supply of that on the internet. So, you know, how are they going to stay viable as a company? Well, they're launching their meta mansion in Sandbox, and you can get access to great articles there.
I don't understand why do they say it's the first meta mansion? Just anything, like, why are all these other
Wait,
lands
then Snoop Dogg has a mansion in there.
That's what I'm saying. All these other lands have big houses on it.
Well, because it's this would probably be the reason, because it's a virtual version of the Playboy Mansion.
Got it.
So it's like it literally moved it in, and it's, you know, one of the most famous ones around, of course. And
sure,
somebody owns it now. You know who? I don't think they own it anymore, right?
Nope. He sold it. To, somebody bought it from him years before he died.
That guy was. You find out more and more. I mean, look, rip. You know, we don't want to talk bad about a dead guy, but
no, I'm talking about the guy who bought it from him. Had all the acreage around him, and he actually bought it all and let Hugh Hefner live there until he died, basically, even though he owned it.
God, the difference in our culture today and like 10 years ago is insane. Oh man, according to Monday announcement, they're moving the virtual version in. Oh, that almost looks like my Ether bunny. The Meta Mansion also builds on Playboy's Rabbitars NFT project, which consists of, what a weird number, 11,953 tokenized bunny avatars that went for around $800 a piece at the peak of the market in October. I had a very interesting phone call or a Zoom call yesterday with somebody about branding Bored Apes. I'll tell you, it was very, very, very interesting. It's something we're going to look at doing. Also, something that will be going into a certain NFT platform in the future. Sandbox has managed to attract a long list of mainstream partnerships. Care Bears, Warner Music, Walking Dead, Snoop Dogg, Deadmau5, Atari, Smurfs, Adidas, and BitBoy Crypto. Well, yeah, I believe our land's the best land in there, by the way.
It's pretty sick.
I will tell you this. I will put our Sandbox land that we have built, our city that we have built, the gameplay that we have built, I will put it against any other land in Sandbox. I'll tell you that. People are going to be astounded. We've been working on this longer than any of these people. We've been building in there for over 2 years. It's probably way more than that. It's probably 2.5 years at this point. So it's a lot of development. It's a lot of stuff. So definitely watch that. U.S. trademark and copyright offices to study IP impact of NFTs. Well, this would be interesting if this affects what people are doing with some of that stuff. So NFTs continue to garner interest. Patent and Trademark Office and U.S. Copyright Office, one of the least corrupt organizations in the government. I don't know. I just made that up, but it sounds like a very buttoned up. Like it sounds like they're trying to, you know. I know there is some sketchy stuff there. Actually, it's not. You know the story from Andy
no.
About the Nerf podcast that he did?
No.
Yeah. So like they used to do this podcast called Nerfed. I guess that's a phrase used in gaming. Like, oh, I got nerfed or something like that. And they had this podcast called the Nerf Podcast, and Nerf, the football, you know, rubber football company or whatever you call that, or they also do the guns. They put a cease and desist or sued them or did something. They tried to fight back, and like they had very good claim that Nerfed with a D at the end was totally different usage, not associated with the actual company. And there was something very weird to where these companies, they are able to use their power to leverage against the copyright office and the trademark office and be able to crush smaller competitors. And that's what happened. They had to end up changing the name of the podcast. And that was the beginning of the end for that really successful podcast that they had. So shout out to my boy, Andy. So I take it back. They're also corrupt. NFT space has already caused plenty of strife for companies that have seen their products or intellectual property infringed upon in recent months. Number of high-profile brands have sought legal recourse against NFT marketplaces and platforms. So there you go. We're just going to take a look at the IP of this stuff. Meet Kevin. This is from Jonathan Anderson. Meet Kevin did an interesting video today about USDC. Check it out. Always love the content. Thanks for doing what you do. I will say this. I saw briefly on TikTok, like maybe a segment of that. USDC is not in trouble at all, in my opinion. And even if it is in trouble, the government will bail it out because they're going to annex that in as the digital dollar. That's why you're going to watch that thing crush all competitors, all stablecoin competitors. I don't know if he has that inner working knowledge of crypto enough to kind of make that assessment like we've done here. And I'm not saying we're smarter than him, but
no, you just got to follow that trail back. USDC is Circle. Circle is Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs is BlackRock. BlackRock is the government.
Exactly. 100%. So I don't know. Maybe he gets into some of that. I don't know. He sticks more on the stock side usually. I like Kevin. He's good. I try to get him on channel, but never could get a response. XRP, where's my XRP army? Throw up the X. Where's my XR Peoples? Ooh, XR Peoples. Man, that would have been a great name for our NFT project.
Yeah.
XR Peoples. Too late. It just got bought, the domain. Ripple versus SEC. Jeremy Hogan speaks out on a recent good outcome in lawsuit. Dude, Jeremy Hogan's videos are so funny. He's like he's not a professional YouTuber, right? Like, this is not what he does on a daily basis. Is like, I'm going to make YouTube videos. He's a lawyer, is what he is.
Right.
And he's very smart, very intelligent. He does a good job at relaying the information. His videos are pretty long. I don't think he scripts. I think he just kind of talks during the time. But like the edits that he just like edits these memes in the middle, like, I don't know, it's just perfect. Like, I really think they're very good videos to watch. They're entertaining. He does a good job. But more importantly, you're watching that guy not because he's a great YouTuber, but because he's a great lawyer. According to recent updates shared by defense lawyer James Fallon, Judge Torres has granted in part and denied in part the party's request to seal documents in connection with the Amici motion to participate in the Daubert proceedings. Proposed redactions are due by July 15th. So there's a date for you. We're not expecting to be over by then, of course. XRP community, yada, yada, yada. That was basically just a rewording of that tweet up there. So we already read that. Comes as defendants allege SEC had taken an extreme position. Mindy says, what does this even mean? Great question, because I was also wondering the exact same thing. Sorry, it means we, this is why Jeremy Hogan's great, the public get to see the expert witness reports, except for a small part of it that somehow was directly related to the harassment sent the expert's way. That's literally what all this stuff recently has been about. So if you didn't know, that John Doody, I think was his name, something Doody, D-O-O-D-Y, he said that, he had taught, or he said he represented XRP holders and that this is what they wanted, or that this was their opinion. And then it comes out that he didn't actually ever talk to a single XRP holder, except maybe Gary Gensler. Maybe talk to Gary Gensler. Bet Gary Gensler got that XRP bag loaded up. But not an accusation, just a guess. I do know there are people at the SEC that they disclosed do own XRP, or did at some point when they disclosed that. But what I would say is he got attacked after this. Old Duty did. People on Twitter were threatening him. I don't know if people showed up at his house. I don't know what the threats were, but he got threats and he was being harassed as the expert witness. And, you can say stupid is the stupid does there, but I mean, obviously there are lines. You shouldn't cross lines and harass people. You wouldn't want people doing that to you if that was your job and you were a giant scammer and you actually worked kind of for the SEC and they paid you and then you didn't talk to XRP holders. As bad at all as that is, you wouldn't want that to happen if that were you. And so when that occurred, now what they're saying is because of that, part of the expert commentary is going to be released, with the exception of anything having to do with him getting attacked is getting redacted. So this is big. We're going to get to see exactly what he said, exactly what he was trying to get at, and the lies that he was telling. We're going to get to see, does he say he talked to XRP holders? Because that'd be an outright lie from what I hear. So very interesting stuff. The SEC just continues to just flip-flop in their own way. According to Jeremy Hogan, the recent decision regarding the party's request was a good outcome. So there you go. Good outcome. We also have 40 million XRP sold by Jed McCaleb in the last 7 days. Finish is almost here. He has, I think, 15 million left. He'll run through that in the next week or so. And this guy, one of the biggest scammers in the history of crypto, never responsible for anything, continues to profit and become a billionaire off other people's losses. He will be out of XRP to sell from his severance or settlement, whatever it was, when he left Ripple Labs back in, I think it was 2014, 2015. The sale was 2015. I think he left before the sale. Supposedly, he didn't like the sale, and that's why he left. Well, very convenient, isn't it? You liked it enough to take all your money in the token. Very interesting. Now, you guys know I've been very hard on XLM because Jed McCaleb was CEO of Jed, or was CEO, co-founder, very involved in the project. I will tell you, and when I say sources, I like literally an employee at Stellar has told me that Jed McCaleb has left the company. Now, there's nothing public on that. You're not going to see anything that says that he left, that he's gone, yada, yada, yada. Probably maybe waiting until after this to leave. But isn't it convenient? He leaves the company right as he gets at the end of selling his XRP. And so because of this, because I've now been told that he has left the company, and look, there's a chance that could be proven to be not true, but I've been told it direct. I will take a second look at XLM, and I will potentially bring it back into the fold. I was bullish on it at one point. They did some stuff that's burning without asking the community I didn't like. Then I really started digging into Jed McCaleb, didn't like him. That's when I turned away from it. So if you are an XLM fan, then hey, this could be an opportunity to get back in the good graces of the channel. So let's go and do quick hits.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I would just say history does show after he leaves, generally leaves at the peak. Right before, doesn't get much better after he leaves most of the time.
Sorry, Julio, I'm not allowed to say that.
Quick hits or questions?
Quick, just do. I mean, I don't think there's XRP marketplace, hackers nab 8 million, Ethereum, Helium had a 4-hour. I mean, just a lot of these stories aren't really, when we're short for time.
Q&A. This was one from the beginning of the show.
Hey, Lorenzo Davenport, we got you, dog. Yeah. We got you, dog. He just commented, y'all forgot about my super chat? No, we're here for you, bro.
I got you. Nathan or Lorenzo Davenport, still think a lot of people are sleeping on Crypto.com's NFT platform. Think the loaded lines will be the next blue chip. Any thoughts on Blocktopia?
I mean, we like Blocktopia. We have liked Blocktopia. I haven't looked at it in a decent amount of time. Mm-hmm. You can check out Meta Money if you want to find out more about some metaverse projects. Loaded lines, don't really know that much about it. Crypto.com's NFT platform, good UI and things like that. It's going to be hard for me to, with good faith, tell you that any NFT platforms out there are great, because the great one is coming. The great one, as Charlie Brown would say, the great pumpkin is coming.
Do you think grabbing more ETH instead of BTC would pay off more monetarily over the next 12 months? That's from Ricky BTC.
Absolutely. I think it has to, because of the merge. It's gonna be more bullish than Bitcoin, I believe. It's going to eat up some of that Bitcoin dominance. Benjamin Cowan was saying he thought that we were going to see Bitcoin dominance up at, did he say 60%, I think? He said that's where it was going to charge up to. It hasn't got over 45%. So a lot of people saying that he was right on that and dead on TikTok and stuff like that. I'm not saying he's wrong. He may end up being right. But we're not seeing it right now. But ETH has been dropping as well. And a lot of this has to do with stable coins, pulling liquidity from both of those coins. But I believe Ethereum is going to hit a bottom on that and move back heavily. I don't think Bitcoin is going to get over 50%. And I think Ethereum is going to charge over 20% before you know it.
Okay, this is a super chat from Vikanesh. They asked it a couple different times. They said, if you had a certain amount of money and you had to choose between Sol, Dot, and Atom, which would you go with? And then here they said only choose one. So one pick, Sol, Dot, or Atom. Pick one.
I mean, I love Atom. I love Atom. I love Cosmos. I got to say Dot. Like, I had to say Dot. It's just got the potential factor right now. And trust me, that Gavin Wood is a sketchy character. He's a sketchy character. You want to talk about the meta cartels, the Moloch DAOs, a lot of his people heavily involved in that stuff, okay? And what is the end result of all the things he's been involved in? Bump it up. So I believe there is a good chance. Number one, the infrastructure is great and it works and it competes on the top tier of smart contract platforms. We don't know that yet. We got to wait, see it a little bit more. But I do believe it will be, when the excitement comes out around it, there will be a lot of liquidity infusion. The price will go up. Obviously not against the bear market, but we're talking about next cycle.
Quick Q&A. You've said that the next bull run, 30K can be turned into $1 million. Is that with leverage trading or just
you can turn
correct?
$30,000 into $1 million with active leverage trading, and it says active leverage trading. Well, yeah. You can do it in a month. You could also lose the $30,000 in an hour.
Right.
So, leverage trading is just high risk, high reward all the time. Mostly high risk. Use proper risk management if you are going to do it. You heard the whole conversation me and Lifer earlier. So, no, not leverage trading. Right. That is not what we are talking about. No, we are talking about picking good coins at the bottom, riding them up, taking profits along the way, diversifying into other coins that have potential. And we are talking about mostly top coins. I will tell you the last thing we'll just say on the show here about this is I've been really thinking about my strategy and how I want the BitSquad to operate, what I want you guys doing in this next bull market. And it's going to be different than the last bull market, But I do think there is still room in your portfolios for 100x coins. I think there's room in your portfolios for that. We're not going to be going over extensively. Well, I may not even give you picks, but we're going to show you guys how you can pick some of those winners and give you a process and some research tools so that you guys can figure out what some of the next big things could be, some of the next big movers. Remember the 100x coin, it goes 100x, but then it can also go back down 75% in a few weeks. So I think there is strategy for that stuff, and I know a lot of you guys want that. That's what made this channel kind of popular. In 2020, we were doing a lot of those videos. We're not going to do nearly as much, but we understand that part of our audience does want that, and we are going to try to show you guys some ways to do that. But that's 5% of your portfolio. 95% of your portfolio should be top coins. And we'll talk about that more. Philosophy number 3, BitBoy Crypto, build a balanced portfolio. All right, guys. You got something?
Nope.
Oh, great. Well, I don't either. That's all I got. Be blessed. I love you guys. Man, so glad I've been back the last couple weeks. BitBoy out.